When an armed assailant charged the stage during a rally last week, many faithful supporters of President Trump glimpsed more than mere luck in his escape unscathed. For them, it was the unseen hand of God himself that guided recent events to protect his anointed leader of the nation. It's clear God has more for Trump to accomplish in making America great again and standing against evils like abortion, said Linda Green, an evangelical churchgoer from Ohio. The Lord shut the mouth of the lions for Daniel, and he shut down that man's gun for our president. Others point to biblical figures like Moses, David, and Daniel who survived assassination attempts due to divine shielding of their lives for God's purposes. They see Trump similarly tasked with reforming America's moral slide and leading according to Judeo-Christian values. Trump has been fearless in taking on the godless liberal agenda, expressed Jim Bob Williams, pastor of a mega-church in Texas. When his enemies conspire harm, the angel of the Lord encamps around our president like fiery horses did for Elisha. For these evangelicals, God long ago chose America's destiny as a city on a hill and Trump as his unlikely vessel to turn back progressivism's rising tide threatening religious liberty. They take comfort that no weapon formed against him can prosper due to supernatural hedge of holy protection. Of course, skeptics say it's manipulative to ascribe divine mandate to any leader or policy position. But for the many millions who have found hope renewed through Trump's leadership, his narrow escapes only strengthen conviction that Jesus still rules the affairs of man. They pray this latest brush with death inspires the nation to forsake complacency and choose life in the consequential midterms ahead. Until America fully embraces its calling as God's experiment in self-government, faithful patriots believe the hand that guided Trump from the stage will continue guiding him, and perhaps spur a fresh great awakening under his watch before Jesus' promised return. Only time will tell. But for now, these heartland supporters rest in Providence's sway. Perspectives that Trump's faithful supporters may have on divine protection regarding the assassination attempt. They see the quick reaction of security and nearby attendees to restrain and disarm the attacker as evidence that God moved them into place as part of his protection plan. Their swift response averted tragedy. Some point to the large flag behind the president on stage. They believe the flag itself, representing America under God, formed a barrier that shielded Trump from any bullets fired his way. Prayer warriors who have been petitioning heaven on Trump's behalf daily take the failed attack as confirmation their intercession is making an impact. They will pray even more fervently going forward. A few speculate whether God may have supernaturally disoriented or misdirected the would-be assassin to botch his efforts. They see it as part of how the Lord confounds the devices of nations rising against his anointed. Many feel the close call was meant to stir the republic to its knees in repentance and renewed commitment. If Trump can survive such a direct threat, they feel it augurs well for his chances in the 2024 election. Most simply give thanks that the wounds in Jesus' hands guided all involved to ensure their president survived to continue transforming the nation through both policy wins and spiritual awakening. They see it as proof that God has more work for Trump to do in reversing America's moral and political decline. With divine protection, his presidency is assured to continue transforming the nation. It strengthens their belief that Trump was chosen by God for such a time as this, to take a stand where others have not. His survival in the face of danger shows heavenly favor and mandate. They interpret it through the lens of biblical figures who faced attempts on their lives by enemies but were shielded by God, Daniel, David, etc. To them, Trump is doing God-sized work and requires supernatural guarding. It bolsters their view that fervent prayer can influence geopolitical events and national leadership. They credit their own intercession for sparing the president. The unexpected nature of an armed man rushing the stage makes it hard to chalk up to luck or coincidence. To them, it confirms special angelic activity surrounding Trump. It fuels their conviction that opposition to Trump's agenda is essentially resistance to God's will. Each challenge he overcomes is a victory for righteousness. It strengthens faith that another term is guaranteed and Trump's presidency may herald a religious awakening restoring America to its foundations. So in many ways, the close call served to further convince the base that Trump is in the White House according to divine design with heaven ensuring his success. There are a few ways that more devout Trump supporters seek to reconcile his behavior with their religious beliefs. Imperfection. They emphasize that all leaders are flawed and imperfect. While not condoning wrongs, they focus on policy victories that align with faith, not personal conduct. Repentance. Some point to biblical figures like King David, who sinned grievously yet were forgiven upon repentance. They believe Trump is fulfilling God's will despite a sinful nature. Attacks from secular world. Followers argue Trump faces constant false accusations and slander from hostile media. They discount many reports as fake news meant to undermine his Christian agenda. Divine use of imperfect vessels. Referencing leaders like Solomon or rulers in Romans 13, they assert God can raise up even questionable individuals for broader purposes like appointing righteous judges or defending the unborn. Ends over means. Policies advancing religious freedom or conservative justices are hailed as fulfilling biblical mandates, outweighing Trump's brash personal style to loyalist evangelicals committed to such political goals. Not a pastor, but a leader. His role as president focuses on earthly tasks like policy and leadership rather than spiritual matters. They stress shaping culture, not personal salvation. So while condemning no one, priorities of agenda and more agenda tend to trump, pun intended, concerns over private conduct for this core constituency. I believe the perception of Donald Trump as a divinely anointed leader could certainly impact the 2024 presidential election in a few key ways. It will galvanize and motivate conservative evangelical Christians, who make up a significant portion of the GOP base, to enthusiastically support Trump's potential re-election bid. The view of him as God's choice could boost turnout. Relatedly, it may prompt some evangelicals who had reservations about Trump in the past to overcome those concerns, believing they are supporting the candidate most aligned with their biblical values and priorities on key issues. Narratives portraying attacks on Trump as essentially resistance to God's will could further unite Republicans against Democrats, framing the election in quasi-religious terms of good versus evil. Perceived supernatural protection over Trump's presidency, like the failed assassination attempt, fuels enthusiasm and belief that he will indeed prevail again despite political headwinds. It gives Republicans a clear message that their votes aren't just policy-based, but soulfully important in maintaining the God-endorsed leadership of America. This could maximize mobilization. So in many important ways, the evangelical perception of Trump as a divinely chosen leader bodes well for GOP chances if he should enter the 2024 fray. It taps profound reserves of faith-based enthusiasm and turnout. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. Bye for now and see you in my next video.